And hello everyone. Apologies for the delays, we were just sorting out some issues on the broadcasting side, hence why we're straight into the qualifying for today, for round number 3 here at Brands Hatch on ACC, and I'm here with Mike once again.
Hello there, and welcome back. We've had quite a eventful last round at Watkins Glen for round 2, so hopefully slightly different format. We're going back to our endurance style again here for a lovely track, a very legendary track in British motorsport, so happy to see we're here today.
Yep, exactly that, and one that I can finally, about tracks in these series, say that I've been to in real life. The only other one, weirdly, being Barcelona of all places. But, yeah, I know this track quite well, and I know that Benny Dobbins knows this track quite well as well, so why not sit on board and hear the Jag for a hot lap here of Brands Hatch, Paddock Hill, iconic turn 1. Place where if you get it wrong, you get it very wrong. And then running up the hill now, under the gantry, towards Druids, turn number 2. Can be a pretty good overtaking point if you get Paddock Hill firmly correct. Then through into turn 3. Don't know the name of this one, but that's alright. And possibly the most difficult corner to judge on the track here at turn 4 to bring you out of the Indy Loop and onto the GP circuit. And this is also where my knowledge of corner names fails me, unfortunately, but Mike,
That's
you may know
Hawthorns
better.
Bend. Yep.
There you go.
So we're going Hawthorns into Westfield Bend. We're going to be running on the Dingledell. They call this large right-hander into the Sheen curve, completely blind. Should be going back into the more normal stuff. We're going to have Sterling, very nice banked corner to help you go in, and lines up for the last corner here at Clark Curve.
Yeah, and those bollards on the right-hand side being firmly murdered by the first car that goes through, Mr. Angus Fender, who has set a 124.1 because he's a mad guy. No, sorry, it was Jimmy Lynn that set that. Angus had. This just looks like the rocket car. My apologies.
Yeah, it looks like Jimmy Lynn going first out there, getting all 3 purple sectors, so it'll be something very nice for him to have. But of course, there will be some faster drivers coming along at the moment. Jack is just coming across the line already, so we're going to start seeing our more front leaders coming across the line here as he gets a third.
Ooh.
Yeah, not very good at the time. I think it was a not very good first sector, but purple third. The one thing you'll see with Jack today is that he's got a very, very fast car in a straight line. The Mercedes is a little bit faster than the other cars here. Wouldn't make too much of a difference as the straights aren't the biggest in the world, but might mean something in the race they might see later on.
Apologies for my exclamation of "oh no!" One of my fajitas came apart, so I'm having to remake it. And it's done. So it's time to eat that.
Oh, if you want to know some fun things going on right now, Jimmy Lynn is looking to potentially set another purple. And by the way, this guy runs on a controller, of all things, as well. Very, very interesting indeed.
I can't even get into the 24s on a wheel, and he's in the 23s on a controller, showing me up.
Oh my goodness. Let's have a look at James White and his when I've looked at this car, as he has a lovely skid through try to recognise the corners that we're at. Is that one of them? When I think of this car, I always think of the Portuguese flag. It's got the same colours, the same sort of vibe. It's very Portuguese. He's just coming around the final corner here.
Especially with the gold in the middle. I mean, that just looks like the emblem that you see on the flag, just sort of like sitting there. James White finds about Mine's about a second of improvement as Jack Noller went fastest while we were watching him.
Yeah, purple sector 2 and sector 3. Well done for him. Again, he's going to have 2 people going for it. I think Joe and Angus are going to be doing their usual again, just to make things interesting. So I don't know if they're going to be heading out in this session because, well, they like to do that thing. They really are sort of things. They have Connor randomly stopping at the front, going back to pits just off the racing line. Not something that we do allow. It's always a bit scary when someone stops randomly next to it, but it just helps them get back into the pits and go out again for another flying lap. So just sim racing things. Is that like a last, shouldn't we? Yeah.
Aiden currently setting his first time, though I can tell from my timing screens that he's about 1.2 seconds up on where his original time put him. But that one was invalid, and this one is straight up to second place.
Yeah, very nice coming out there from the Lamborghini driver. Not many Lamborghinis that you see running on the track. It's mostly been a Ferrari and McLaren sort of deal. Again, these are, you know, the Lamborghini has never been the sort of car that people flock towards. It's always lovely to see a range of different cars. That's what I love about GT3s. I've said this before on the stream. Having loads of different manufacturers with different shapes on the track is what we love doing. It, you know, really makes a change from the spec series that you see. And I love how racing is going. We're going to all different shapes and sizes. We see in LMH as we see Sam Knight taking a very big hit coming out of what that looked to be. Just need to bring it back up. Sheen's curve, which is a bit of a tricky corner because it's uphill.
Yes.
So you can't actually see the end of the corner. So you have to kind of judge it by your braking point and how fast you're going. And that can be really unnerving. Honestly, I love it. It's one of the fastest corners on the track, so I love that corner personally, but it can be really difficult for a lot of drivers to really get handle of, as we see Josh Lodge having a little bit of issues there at Surtees. Another, probably, I'd say the most struggling. I struggle the most on that corner the most. It's very hard to get it right. Also having a look at using his McLaren as a glorified lawnmower as well, as I don't know if that's going to be very valid. Honestly, track limits here can be okay. I think they're quite reasonable usually.
Yeah.
As long as you keep it on the black stuff most of the time, you're going to be fine for a lap here. As I think Josh Log is, I'd be interested whether or not this would even be valid.
It
is. It is. Oh my goodness.
Might jump him up to 4th, see what it does. Just about jumping him up to 4th, only 12 thousandths in between. And apologies, Mike, last time you took a talking break, I had my mouth full. But I have finished.
Is the fajita eaten?
I have finished my Mexican food. I'm now ready to watch the British race.
Well, as long as it doesn't lead to any unexploded things, we're going to be absolutely fine. As Jimmy Lin is keeping up the pace here in second, it's been really interesting to see, as his delta is already nearly 0.2 of a second faster. He's got more time in him still for some reason. This is nuts.
Yeah, someone upgrade this man's controller or something. I don't know. Is he back now?
I don't know.
Because it could be summer holiday. Is he returned from the land of Canada? We don't know. Might have to interview him after the race to find out.
You know, the only thing I really recently learned about Jimmy Lin is he ordered some stickers a while back and accidentally sent it to UK, not Canada. So apparently it took 3 months to get.
That's an
so he's had a massive ordeal with trying to get stickers for his setup. As we get to see Cam Gold with that very nice half and half livery. I always find it a very weird one, very divisive. Again, I think Cam's definitely been playing in the lower to midfield. He has definitely a bit of pace. He knows this track a little bit more. And he's personally visited here here back in 2021 for GT World Challenge. So, which was also the fateful year that a lot of people crashed on the very first lap, which we all know was not the best thing in the world.
And there was a big crash near the last lap as well, where someone went through a fence.
Yeah, Brands does like to throw some action in occasionally.
Everyone was okay, but it did involve the leaders, which was quite funny. And
Oh, God.
the Jota going off the track quite far.
Oh, no. And a bit of carbon fibre going everywhere as well.
Yeah, I mean, it went into a bit where spectators can't be. It was okay.
Oh, okay, that's a good thing.
I will point out where, actually... No, I don't think they can get there. I'll point out. Well, we were just going to come up to it the next corner, off the outside there.
Ah, I haven't seen this car in a while. It's Marley going in the going down the Pilgrim's Drop into the Hawthorne Bend, fastest corner of the track. Definitely have to throw it in there and just see if you can get it on the other side. Marley keeping it nice and clean. Going through Westfield Bend as said it was a little clean there, but you went a little bit too wide. Again, it's still valid, so track limits are definitely not the. Is it? Is it?
I don't think it is.
You don't think it is? Oh, your displays are better than mine in actually determining what's going on track. Yeah, it looks like.
Either way, it's not quicker. So.
Okay. We can relax. There's
Have a look at Jonan. Why not?
Yeah. Oh god, Jonan has had probably the biggest sort of ordeals when it's come to this sort of championship. First round, having an early crash that caused them to have a recovery drive back to. Now just to bring it back here. Bring it back to 9th place, and then for round 2. He finished 13th in the first race and 6th in the second. He has had probably one of the roughest starts to his season. So
yeah,
Jonan's going to be definitely looking to try and get some points here in this round to try and rescue whatever he can of his championship left. So
I mean, whatever we can say, he's not had a break so far, but up into 7th position now, and I've just noticed quite a good turnout for this race. So at the moment, 21 people on the grid.
Yeah, looks like Owen's also got it back into the server. He's had some had to reinstall the game just before we started.
Oh.
And has actually got it working, hopefully. So it's good to see that. It's good to see an Aston Martin as well fill out our grid, as we have quite a few different manufacturers to play with.
Fair enough. Reinstalling the game just before
I know.
driving, that's not ideal. I must admit, I did a few installs today. I've done a reset on my PC recently, moved back to my parents, so...
Yeah, I think I've had issues with ACC a couple times in the past, but a lot of them have been when the patches have just released. So 1.9 had some temperamental issues for a little bit, but then it cleared out really quickly. If anything, a lot of the problems that we ever have is with other applications.
Yes.
Yeah. Like a lot of the time, our applications break when there's a new update. So as soon as 1.9 came around, and they kept updating the game very quickly as we started having, you know, bop changes, and then they started doing little changes on the back end. It just messes with our software, and then we, you know, it's a lot of problems. And while, you know, I'm not going to complain too badly, as, you know, the main game is getting updated regularly, which, thank you, Kunos, you care about us. It is, you know, it can be a little annoying at times, but we work and we get on with it. As we see Aiden Chatburn come around the final corner here, is he going to improve? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I had thought that just before this stream I was having another ACC race control issue. Turns out it wasn't. I had a notepad skill issue. In the fact that I had to change a JSON file and I forgot to control S. Or at least I thought I control S. No. Didn't save.
Oh dear. Oh god,
now.
that's the beautiful thing about computers. You're like, is this right? And then you haven't actually saved any of it. Oh,
Yep.
for goodness sake. Yeah, it looks like Sam Knight coming over the line, not really improving in position here. We've got just under 4 minutes remaining, so drivers are going to be looking to get their last laps in, try and get some of those useful positions. It is an endurance race, so you know, positions are going to be somewhat important. I think this track is quite important because it's not the easiest track to overtake. The track is not the widest in the world, and corners come thick and fast. So track position is going to be quite important here, and people are going to be fighting for those lead positions. So we're going to be seeing Aiden Chapman come across the line here. Does get an improvement to 8th place and knocking Jonan back down to 9th.
Looking like a good time here for Josh Lodge if he gets a tidy final corner. Losing a little bit of time, potentially challenging Jimmy Lin still for a second spot. Just about getting there. The 300ths between them at the moment, but Aiden Larson is also improving.
Yeah, that's a lovely lap from Josh Lodge there, really putting the pressure on Jimmy Lin. Again on the, I do want to. We'll probably find out later in the stream if he actually is still using that controller, because my goodness, it is fast to see.
I doubt it by this point.
Should we go on? Actually, no, he's gone back in the pits now. Sad. Right, let's have a look at Aiden Larson. He's had a green first sector. That's a personal best in the first sector, but didn't we get anything in the second? Doesn't look like it's going to be anything fast here, unfortunately. He's only got 1 lap left to go as well to try and get any positions they can.
I can get to it.
Yeah, you probably could. Like a lap here is a low to mid 123. So yeah, it's definitely doable. As Karen Gold gets an extra 2 positions there, getting to 8th place in the varied matte color Lamborghini. It is the Ed, actually in the
Famously.
BMW. Yes. In the definitely not a Spotify livery, gets a time in, goes up to 13th place. Definitely trying to find some positions there in that very purpley BMW. It's good to see Marley come in and do some do some good laps coming around here. 6th place currently. It's good to see him on track. Honestly, it's good to see some drivers. Definitely haven't seen in a while. Drive again as he comes around the penultimate corner there.
Very wide.
Very, very wide indeed. It's not going to be helping his efforts as it looks like he's slowed down there. Aiden Chapman, 9th place currently, 2nd down from the leader. Going to be wanting to improve his time here at the moment as he comes around the very long last corner there. Yes, any improvements?
It's good.
It's good. It is a 6th place. Lovely jump up there. Getting a 6th place. Lovely lap there coming out in that very dark McLaren, sorry.
See how easy it is to gain places from 4th to 10th? Like, there's pretty much nothing between some of them. As Jack Noller comes across the line flashing his lights, although he does get one lap that is qualifying complete. Anyone in the pit lane and the next people across the line. Next one to get over that line is going to be Jonan Turner. Take a look what he can do. Looks to be about level with where his current best is, and no improvement there. Callum Porter, I believe this is a new name. Don't remember it, at least.
He's
6th.
yeah, we actually got a little lowdown for the stream. Callum was a Brooks driver a while back, a good karting driver apparently. So it's good to see him get into the game and actually be playing, as Owen's finally got out in the Geek Racing Aston Martin. Yeah, what you're saying about the compression, I mean, lap times are a lot lower here. We're in the 123s, and so we're going to be seeing a lot more condensing lap times. Not quite as extreme as what we saw in Austria and F1 a couple of weeks ago, but that's what you're going to get. Lower lap times mean the margins are smaller. As he finally gets over the line, gets 16th, and that will get him through there. Well, finished our first session. Actually, not very condensed field, actually, from that, definitely from that third, fourth attempt. So really, really good work from there.
Yeah, it was indeed. Jack Noller getting the pole eventually, with Angus Fender, Neil Ashkansev and Joe Scher choosing not to qualify as my... Oh, no. I thought my camera had frozen. It didn't. I think I'm okay.
Yes, we are still okay. So yeah, not... Definitely, I definitely say, like, biggest sort of thing there was that, as my screen's completely reset. Oh, come on. Just lost all my results. There we go. Very interesting in terms of just seeing, you know, Jimmy Lin coming up there. Connor getting behind Jimmy. And Callum coming in as a new sort of... I think of it as like those, you know, you've got that very much tier 1 sort of drivers, the ones that are going for the win of the race. You've got your Joes, your Angus, your Jacks, and then you go down, and that second tier of drivers, you know, your Connors, Jimmy, Lodge, Aiden, now, you know, potentially even Callum as well. You know, these drivers are going to be looking to fight each other throughout the race. And that's what I'm really excited for today. We're going to have a lot of fighting, and we're going to have a lot of interesting battles. It's going to be interesting. I love Brands Hatch because you never know what's going to happen. It's always a track that brings up a load of different drama. So see how it goes.
Yeah, it does. Hopefully we don't have any redacted moments, so to speak. I will bring it up because, hey, if I bring it up, it'll happen. If I don't bring it up, it'll happen.
Redacted is a bit of a meme in the BUSR for people who are new here. Things happen at Brands and crashes do occur, and we don't want to. I don't want to jinx it. I know for us sometimes we want to jinx it because it's a bit of drama, but yeah, Brands is one of those that, like I said, because of that not that very long width, contact can easily occur. As we're gonna have people lining up. Right, I think we should have a little line out of drivers qualifying. So, first place with an easily comfortable first place, Jack Noller in the Mercedes, followed by Josh Lodge and Jimmy Lin, pulling up the rear in those McLaren 720S Evo 2s. Connor McCullough leading the Porsches in P4. Aiden Larson leading Lamborghini driver there, and Callum Porter, new to ACC Summer, going to be looking to get their first points on the board in that red Ferrari 296. Aiden Chapman in the McLaren. 8th place is going to be Marley. See him, new driver in there. Callum Gold going to be coming up in that second Lamborghini 33. Jonan trying to get some points back for his ACC Summer run in that Porsche. James White going to be in the 21 Ferrari. Penelope Dobbins in the Soul Jaguar in the Jag, as a lovely commentator likes to say. Ed Hadshaw coming in our Soul BMW M4 here. Pran coming in with the Ferrari. Mushtaq in the number 12 McLaren, followed by Sam Knight in the Lamborghini and Alan Bent in the Mercedes. Angus Fender is going to be coming up at the top of the rear in the number 9 Sim Sports. Daniela in the V69 Ferrari, followed by Joe Scher, and that's very well named number 1 Ferrari, and then followed in the pit lane Owen Goldsmith, who's not actually gridded up, unfortunately. I hope he's going to be running throughout this race, but I hope that isn't an early retirement already.
Hopefully not, but we'll find out once the race gets underway. Hopefully he just missed the drive button. We don't want people to miss the drive button, but we just don't want people to miss the race. We prefer people to not have pressed the grid button.
I mean, we don't want to miss out on probably one of the best turnouts we've had of the season, which is lovely. It's good to see cars on the track as we're going to be seeing them form up here. Jason, I'm going to lead you away as we're going for round 3 here at Brands Hatch.
Oh, I do love this bit of the broadcast. You know that. But here we go. It looks like we're going to be getting some quite good camera angles around this Brands Hatch circuit that we found, and we're going to be getting a great one of the cars here on the start. Bit of a gap in the back for whatever reason, but here is the green flag. Jack Noller getting a pretty good start, going to be able to fend off Josh Lodge. Other two as they were as well, as we just see loads of cars. There's a bit of contact there between Callum Porter and Aidan Larson, maybe a bit of a melee in the back as well. Looks like Ed might be falling down a few places, or is that just Angus making up places? Already up to 13th, and it looks like Adam Bent may have got a drive through for position on start. That will be checked and, if necessary, reinstated. We see 2 wide still, 2 by 2 even. Penny Dobbins and Cam Gold here for 10th position.
Yeah, the Jaguar is going to have, he's going to definitely have a difficult getting these new shiny Lamborghini here. It's going to be, again, Penelope's going to be pretty much leading this 10th pack here, as all the cars are going to be condensed because they're all going to try and get position contact coming out between the 296 and the Lamborghini. That's going to be the contact there, and that is going to be a spun out car there. Oh no, that's not going to be really good for their race already.
Yeah, that was Cam Gold that unfortunately has been spun around. That may get reviewed by the stewards, but all the stewarding is done post-race, so we will not know what happens to that until that gets reviewed, naturally. Let's take a look a little bit further up. Actually, why not all the way up? Jack Noller and Josh Lodge are directly on the back of each other, so it looks like Josh Lodge is going to be quite competitive today, and that's a Portuguese Ferrari facing the wrong way.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate there for James White. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's just lost it up there at Paddock Hill.
Just gets it wrong. Purely.
Just gets it wrong, unfortunately. Paddock Hill is very, very hard. You want to throw it in there, but the car is going to be wanting to go out wide. You want to be keeping it inwards. Those bumps are going to be difficult to master with some of the cars. It's Connor McCullough, a leading car, pretty much one of the leading of the, like I say, that tier 2 sort of drivers, taking an early spin out there. It's not going to be what he wants for his endurance race. Oh no! Got hit from behind by Aiden.
That is not what you want to see, and now he's having to fend off Penelope Dobbins before he makes his comeback, as he's going to be trying to get further up the field once again. Let's take a look. Another battle happening. Marley Watts versus Aidan Chatburn. Ferrari versus McLaren. Who is going to be braver into Paddock Hill? They're about as brave as each other, so we're going to have to continue fighting up into Druids. But Marley has that inside line, so that should be quite good for this tight hairpin. Though Aiden's been able to keep it alongside, so he's going to have the advantage coming through turn 3. Going to be able to force that Ferrari out wide. Jonan's thinking about 3 wide, but maybe not best to do that when your team boss is involved.
Yeah, like these guys, I mean, there's a lot of defending coming out here from Aiden Chatburn. This is condensing the cars behind, and there is a four-way fight for the 6th place position. Again, like you mentioned earlier, you know, you've got the team boss in front here. You know, is Jonan going to be giving him a little bit more space, or is he going to get is he going to try and fight this position, try and get the 7th place? We'll find out as all of this field is getting condensed down into this 6th place fight. This is fantastic racing.
Yeah, and you may now notice that 6th place fight is becoming a 5th place fight, as Callum Porter did go wide, so I think it was Sheen, as Angus having a bit more contact this time with Jonan, trying to go around the outside of him. Not entirely sure what happened there, but that let Joe share through on both of their standard climb up the field and see how far you can get. Escapade. Bit of a dive there into Druids, but allowing both of them to go through.
Yeah, these teammates are going to be fighting all season, and it's going to be lovely to be seeing Joe Scher getting the lead on Angus. He's not going to be very happy, so you might be seeing some greens, some potential purple sectors coming in to try and get that position back. It's going to be a lot of fun as we're going to be seeing this fight throughout the race.
Yeah, we shall see what happens here, but I think Jonan will do well to stick to these guys, to be honest. It's possibly one of the harder tracks to stick to people, as so you've not got much straight line to really take advantage of any slipstream. It's basically all corners, but see what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, Jonan's definitely backed off a little bit here. I don't know if it's a relative pace thing or more of a strategy. Sometimes it is worth it to hang back and let the faster drivers cut through the field, slow down your competitors that you're racing against, so that you can get into a better position to get close to your opposition and get those position changes. Angus is going to be diving on the inside in Paddock Hill. Is he going to make it stick? And it looks like it did, and Angus has got that position back for the 8th. Oh no, have I made a mistake here? Oh no, I have not.
It is 8th.
It is 8th place. It's just the timing screen's not updating, but that's fine.
Timing tower on the left doesn't update until they go through sector points, which is going to be now, as there it does update. Car 9 up to 8th place, car 1 down to 9th. Joe potentially could have held it round the outside, but he got a little bit loose coming out of Paddock Hill, so it just wasn't going to work out for him. Didn't have enough rear traction to try and keep that car exactly where he wanted it to be.
Yeah, I mean, Angus is now going to have his next challenge, which is going to be what we'd like to call traffic, and this traffic is going to be very difficult to get through. Though this isn't map marker traffic, this is for position. This is the 6th place battle. Well, what we said, 5th place battle, wasn't it? Just trying to get through these cars. They're all trying to battle with each other, so Angus is going to have to find a way around these cars without having to get into any sorts of sticky situations. As we're going to be seeing them going down the start-finish straight into the Paddock Hill corner. He's going to do the thing that he did to Joe. It looks like he's kept it going cleanly, but Aiden Chapman's actually getting his elbows out. This is lovely to see, going into the Druids corner. Very long right-handed turn.
My son.
Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm loving this, Aiden. Get going. As unfortunately, he has to keep up the position there, but fantastic fighting. I like a bit of fighting out from here.
Unfortunately, was never going to have anything through turn 3, but you know what? Made an attempt at it. Didn't lose too much time. Fair play to you.
Yeah, and it looks like Joe Scher's going to take the opportunity of Aiden's compromised corner and is going to get through there on that long right corner of Hawthorns.
Not.
You did not?
Did not.
Oh, come on, Joe. That's going to be slowing him down in the fight against Angus. Is not going to be very helpful at all, as Marley's going to be looking for... Marley's looking for a little bit of fun here going into the last 2 corners of this race, as Angus is doing a bit of swerving himself. Oh boy. could have a little fight here, Marley. I would love to see that. But Angus is very, very fast indeed, as looks like someone's already... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You only have one defensive move. You can't do that.
I think we had a little talk with that last race about people swerving and doing some blocking. Hopefully we don't have to see that again today, as some flashes out there as well.
Right, when it's funny.
It is well mannered, everyone at home. Don't worry, these guys know each other very well, so it's just a bit of fun.
There is a you might want to have less throttle when trying to get back on the track, but let's try and find out what actually happened here. Just loops it. Plain and simple.
Yeah, it's a Druids moment. I mean, Druids is one of those corners where you are at the low speed, your aerodynamics aren't working as hard as they are usually, so it means the traction is going to be a little bit hard, and if you just put a little bit too much throttle, it could lead to a spin. That's what you saw there with Abdul. Not going to be helpful for his first stint in this race.
Meanwhile, while looking at that, we seem to be missing all of the action. I'm just going to go into a replay. Can I do it now? No?
I think you might be able to, but Paddock Corner is coming up though.
I'm not going to. We'll just accept that we missed that bit. That's okay. Direction misses things sometimes, as Angus Fender is now leading this train, trying to run away. Callum Porter now in 7th and leading this little train. But I think we were told he is a bit newer to ACC, right? So he may be quick on the old qualifying, but maybe still got a bit of work to do in the race, which is fine.
Oh, wait a minute! Just as we say that, I think
that was not his fault.
Aiden did a bit of a pit maneuver there, and looks like he's spun Callum. That's definitely not going to be something he's going to be wanting. Stewards will definitely be looking at after the race.
Yeah, they will indeed. That will be firmly reported, clipped and shipped over to Steward's office. Like James White has just got past Pran. That is the right back up the pack, but got quite a way to go to get to this battle here. Cam Gold just got past Callum Porter as well. These two, I think, roughly on pace with each other, but are just finding themselves lower down via incident.
Yeah, it looks like the lower end of the pack have definitely had a few struggles coming into this third round here. Callum's going to be looking to try and get those positions back, as Cam has got through earlier. So it will be interesting going later on into the race. We've not seen any pit stops yet, but we are very early into the race. We've only just gone past 13 minutes. So there is a long way to go for these drivers. So even if the people have spun early in the race, there's definitely an advantage they can bring later on.
And here now, Cam Gold trying to get past Ed Haskell. Going to try it around the outside here. Quite a brave place to be. Not quite going to work out for him. Just tries to keep it in a straight line off the corner as well, because that's grass out there. None of this Austria track limits.
Yeah, it looks like the flashes are... It looks like Cam's also got the flashes on as well. He's going to be wanting to put a lot of pressure onto Ed, trying to get that mistake out, trying to find a way around. And that's as all the cars in GT3 are all the same width. So that while the BMW does look very big, it's more to do with its height, not because of its width. So yeah, it's gonna be very difficult for Cam to get through. Again, I find with Brands Hatch, it's more about trying to force the mistake, keep the pressure on the driver, and try and get a mistake out, force the situation, get the overtake going.
Yeah, and We'll see where that mistake is going to be forced, but quickly, I'm just going to switch to Angus Fender. Please pay your attention to the bottom right of the screen where the fastest lap is going to be. .122.8. This man needs to be stopped.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
considering that. Oh.
That was internet. Cam may be having some connection issues, because he appeared to be in the forest and then appeared directly behind Ed again.
The internet demons are back again, and as a person who had to really wrestle with them during winter, I tell you, it's not fun whatsoever. Honestly, it's horrid. Right, let's have a look at Joe Share, shall we?
Battle soon to come between two Ferraris.
I mean, Joe Share's been really stuck in this pack right now, and that is probably not going to be helping his overall race pace compared to Angus, who has actually cleared past Marley earlier in the race. I'll probably just go and see some lap times. I'll come back to you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to clear Marley at some point. I don't think he's going to be getting back up to Angus anytime soon. So, the raw pace of that man is too much.
Yeah, I mean, just for perspective, in the last 3 laps, he was doing a high 22 compared to Joe at the moment, who did actually have a mistake, funny enough. He had a 125 and a 123 and a 124 compared to a 122, 123 and 122. These are high 22s, by the way. So he is losing about a second a lap being behind Marley. It's just as I say that, he's going to be going side by side with Marley. Looks like he's going to be clearing it, but can he make it going into turn 3 here? Just about having a bit more speed, and that is what he needed right now for his race, his overall race pace. It has been damaging being behind Marley, being behind that Rev Sport 296.
Look at the approach.
Yes.
The demon over the hill.
The ominous roar of a very Sim Sport 296, which we've been seeing a lot throughout summer here. Angus is definitely like the shark, and it definitely does look like a shark, actually, I find.
Very angry Ferrari, if you will. That's a double pun. I liked that one. We'll see when that shark will pounce. Not going to be able to do it into Paddock Hill, but that's so good he'll find opportunities anywhere. He's going to try and have a dive down Druid's. Not going to be able to get the braking performance over Aiden Larson to make a dive quite that big, as Conor McCullough has dived into the pit lane. Quite an early pit stop, but not out of the ordinary, and I don't know whether Aiden made a mistake or just plain let Angus past. To be honest, either one is fairly likely.
I mean, if you're looking at this in terms of an entire race here, I mean, Aiden's probably looking to try and get a decently high position. He knows that Angus is much faster than him. Sometimes it is worth it just to let them go by and focus on your overall race pace instead of having to fight yourself, compromise your lap times, and then potentially your competitors that you're racing against get closer to you on the rear. So while it does look a bit annoying, we do love having some racing action. Sometimes you got to be a little bit smarter and think about the entire race as a whole.
Yeah, exactly. Driving smart will get you to the finish line quicker. Overall, that's Aiden Larson being a realistic man and knowing that probably not going to hold Angus Fender for 56 minutes.
So just
I
coming up
wouldn't
with
hold him
some...
Apologies.
No worries, no worries. We're going to have some early data on some pit stops already. So Connor had stopped for about 42 seconds, which means he had about 12 seconds worth of damage. So there was some moderate amount of damage on that Porsche. So it looks like it might be the reason why we had some lap time difficulty, as Callum Porter is looking to make the overtake onto... Oh wait, what the hell?
Ed.
Okay.
Did you get loose?
He got loose, but
Hit some
then when
grass
I'm
and
going to
then-
take out a driver while doing it. Oh no, Ed.
That's all she wrote.
There's a reason why we hold our brakes. While it may not help us in the long term, as Abdul Mustaq has made the same mistake again out of Druids.
Da, 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 da.
Oh no, unfortunately Mustaq having another mistake there. Oh dear, as Angus is going to be looking to make another fight again. Looks like he went a little bit loose there out of turn 3. Oh my god, he's actually trying to fight this back, but does not have the exit speed needed to cross. And it's Josh Lodge, isn't it? It's going to be staying behind as they're going through Surtees.
Yep. And now it's time for Angus Fender to make up the 8.5 second gap to Jack Noller. So place your bets. What do I reckon? About 40 minutes to go in the race when he gets there.
This is where I like say I have a tool for this, but no, I haven't actually developed one yet.
Oh, no.
I know. Analytics.
Make it.
Analytics me, yeah. Actually, I'm working on stuff at the moment, but at the same time, I have a dissertation to do, as it looks like Pran is made a bit of a mistake out of the final corner there, not going to be helping him whatsoever. Went a little wide?
Yep,
No!
that's an
Oh!
Ed moment.
Very much an Ed moment. The track has got cooler by a degrees. I mean, we saw last race, the degrees caused all sorts of problems. Well, perceived problems. You also got to remember the tyres are going off, but the track has got like 1 degree cooler. I don't know if that's going to make much difference, as Callum is stopping on the side of the road. I know you are CPR, but I don't know if the car needs some CPR as well. As yeah, he just stopped on the track.
Okay.
Maybe some personal issues going on there. It's in racing. We have electrical equipment. Sometimes things fail, and
Maybe he
sometimes
just
a restart
wanted
can
to-
help.
Maybe he just wanted a bit of cry because he had a great qualifying, but is now down in 13th in the race through no fault of his own.
Maybe he had a fajita moment, as there's some side-by-side action between Aiden Larson and Jimmy Lin.
Not only side by side, there was also a bit of a pod in there as well.
Right, just been crunching some numbers. So he's doing about 0.2 seconds of a 0.2 of a second a lap. So he's actually going to be quite a while with this sort of pace. Depends if anyone makes any mistakes, but Jack's actually keeping a relatively good pace with minimal practice. Didn't really practice the track today. So that is, again, we'll keep an eye on it, as we are going to be seeing some action. I think Jimmy Lin wants that position back. He's not very happy with that side-by-side contact, as he's making a little look into Druids, but backing out. Oh boy. This one might be hotting. This might be a one to look at throughout the race.
So basically what you've said in the data analytics is, come on Angus, get on with it.
Yeah, come on, you can do better.
Although I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure your 2 tenths per lap has held up particularly well on the last lap when there was 1.6 second difference between them.
Oh no. I've jinxed it. Oh no. Come on, Jack. hang in there. I know we're supposed to be unbiased, but you know, I also want to see.
Hang in there,
I
my
actually want to see
son.
Jack. I'm just having a look in the chat. Which, by the way, if you are watching at home, do get in the chat. We do actually have it open occasionally. As Doomskull actually is driving this race. Is another race. Let's go. Yes, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. We've already had some action already, so it's gonna keep an eye on it, and hopefully the race will hot up, especially when those pit stops coming in the next 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, already had a few drivers do the pit stops. Conor McCullough, James White, Owen Goldsmith and Sam Knight have already got their pit stops done and dusted. And Danilo Astrakhansev, who you were talking about, Doomskull, is in the pit lane now. So I still think it's a bit early, because what are we, hour and 15-minute race?
Yes, so
Yeah, bit early.
Hour 15 is about 33.5 midway. No, that's wrong. That is wrong. That is
37
so
and a
wrong.
half?
37 and a half.
39-ish?
My brain is on fire.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It's Monday. It's Monday. Aiden Larson got a nice 4th place in his first round. Did not go to Watkins Glen in the second round, but got 4th place last race, so we wanted to at least hold that position at least, as Jimmy Lin is backing off a little bit, unfortunately, which is very sad to see. As oh no, wait a minute, that gap's gone down to about 4.5 seconds. Too bad. Oh my goodness. Speaking of Monday, yeah. Oh, it's just a wild Jonan, and looking at an Aiden Chatburn trying to get another position. I mean, Jonan in this race has definitely kept that ninth position in his own, but Aiden's going to be looking to nip at the edges. Callum Porter's had another spin, this time at Druids. I really feel for this person. They've had not very good. That's not Druids at all. That's Hawthorne. Yeah, looks like Hawthorne. It's very hard to find. It looks very green everywhere, as Fran has had a spin.
What's he done?
1, 2, 3, more like 1, 2 spin. Oh. That looks like 30s. It looks like the Indy layout there. Joke. I know.
It was only just recovering, so I was in the grass for a good 20 seconds.
Altonia 296 into a lawnmower, as Pran is looking to lower Mo a bit more down the Hawthorne Hill. As again, this fight for 3rd place is going to be hotting at 3rd place. Oh no, yeah, 3rd place indeed. And we're going to be seeing Aiden, Josh, and Lynn all trying to fight for this 3rd place position, as Aiden's going to be keeping that 4th place for now. This is going to be interesting. We're going to have another condensing situation here, as Josh Lodge is looking to defend from Aiden, but this is making all the cars behind back up as well, especially a certain Joe Scher, which has had very much traffic issues for the entirety of the race. And again, he's not had the best of time getting through some of the slower drivers here in this race.
What we're saying is he approaches.
He approaches, but doesn't quite make the overtake. And honestly, this has been a tale of who can be unleashed, who can have the clean air, the clean track to finally get some things done. Joe needs to make these decisions now, or take an early pit stop, honestly, and get the clean air, as a pit stop at the moment is taking around about, doing my maths, it's about 50 seconds if you've kept it clean all race, which would put him roundabout, if I work it out, as Jimmy Lynn has gone into the pits just to make it a little bit more tricky.
Maths is
So that
hard,
actually-
everyone.
Yeah, it put him. There's actually a nice little space between Ed and Abdul Mustaq in the
Try that
30th
name again.
position. Where it coming? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You can,
I'm sorry for that.
you
So
can try again with reading.
I will just call the number 12 McLaren and just make it as easy as possible.
Just call him Equi and be done with it. That's
Equi.
alright.
Yeah, let's just call it Equi. There's actually a nice little space he can put himself if he wanted to pit here, as Jimmy Lin and Aiden Chatburn has actually gone for that position. Have I buttered something and thought, oh, this might be a good time to pit? And two of them have gone in and pitted.
This would be a
wanna-
perfect time to pit, to be honest, as they're starting to come through lap traffic as well. Just seen them go past Conor McCullough, then you got Adil Mushtaq in front.
Yeah, I mean, this traffic is going to be not just affecting Joe, but affecting everyone else's races as well. When you have clean air, you can be a little bit more confident in where you're going. You can push a little harder, but when you've got a car in front, you've got to leave a little bit of distances, as Connor is going to be coming through there, pretty much let through there by some, I think that's some back markers actually. As
Chatburn is on the same lap. They were battling out the pit lane, but Connor had the line and the speed, so he was able to just swoop it past him.
Yeah, I mean, Connor, just for reference here, I mean, Connor is 12th place and has got a certain Joe share behind him. He's going to be getting blue flags, which I think in GT racing you can defend your position, but
Not defend, but you don't have to let them through.
yeah, it's not quite FIA rules where you have to fly out the way as fast as possible because of how fast the car is driving. And do you know what? I think it'd be quite interesting to see, as we're going to see this back marker. Angus Fender's now down to about 1.5 seconds, as he's actually just pitted already. He's actually gone for the undercut here. Going to see whether or not the undercut's going to be powerful here. The last race, it actually was pretty good. So let's see if it's going to be powerful again, as Angus is now in the pits.
Yep, I mean, clean air should do the trick for him. See whether Jack Noller's going to act and pit the next lap, but I'm not sure how much good it's going to do.
Yeah, GT racing is always a bit more because there's always that warm-up phase with tires. You know, it takes a couple of laps to actually warm up and get those tires in the optimal operating temperatures. It means that sometimes the overcut can actually be pretty powerful. I don't know how much it's going to be here at Brands Hatch, but we're going to find out as he is now finally come out pit lane. 35 seconds in total, so minimal damage, mostly just been there to get some new fresh boots, as we like to say, some new fresh tires and some fuel as well, as these cars do not want to run all its race fuel because it's extra weight that we don't want to carry around, and just like having a few extra shopping bags, we don't like them. It's a bit annoying, it slows us down a bit. And just as we say that, oh sorry, go ahead.
I don't like shopping bags in the back of my car when I go around a roundabout. That's basically what this is.
Yeah, how to load up the rear instead of having an engine like a Porsche, just load up some shopping bags. As
yeah,
Jack Noller's took the bluff. He's going into the pits. He's taking the undercut. It's going to be directly fighting. Let's see if the undercut works here, as we're going to be waiting furiously to see where the car is coming up. Angus is in 7th right now. Let's see where they come out.
Jack Noller is moving. Here is Angus Fender.
Oh, this is going to be tight coming out of the pits.
That was Ed on the right, but he just managed to get the lap on. And now they are right next to each other.
Oh, baby. The fight is on, as we're going to be seeing the two fight for the leader position. We see a bit of Joe Scher trying to hunt down Jimmy Lin in that 296 as we're going to go back on this action. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun as we're going to be seeing a fight for the actual lead of the race. It looks like for 5th position, but the cars above have not pitted yet. So this is for the lead of the race. Angus is going to be looking to fight, but does he have the temperature in the tyres? Has that extra lap helped him? And whether or not that temperature is going to really affect Jack Noller's pace for this lap and the next coming. Because honestly, looking at the way it's going, next lap is going to be when the fireworks are going to happen.
Yeah, and it's going to be quite important for Jack Noller to dispatch of Penelope Dobbins as quickly as humanly possible to try and get a car between himself and Angus, even for at least a few corners. Never mind. Thanks, Penny.
Penny is dipping for this fight that's going to be coming out for the lead. Jack Noller's going to be looking on the outside, feeling confident he's not going to be dove into that paddock hill bend. But Angus is going to be keeping it close here, going into Druid. Nice slow corner. Is he going to be looking for anything? He's going to be defending on the inside, compromising the speed coming out of Druid. Not going to be helpful, but it's going to be keeping Angus behind. Going into turn 3. Nice slow corner, but it's going to keep people close. Angus is going to be going a little bit wide there. It's not going to be helping for his speed. Going into 30s, nice and slow. Angus is going to be looking to close it up here as acceleration is going to be important. Remember, as we said in qualifying, this Mercedes has a little bit more top speed. That's going to be helping him to keep Angus behind, but Angus does have the slipstream. Is this going to make a difference going into the Hawthorne bend? You're going to need all that downforce as he's going to be going out nice and wide out the corner. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun as the cars are getting closer. Penelope Dobbins has got a drive-through penalty. That's not going to be fun, but let's keep the action right in front of us. Oh, we've got two more corners left in this lap to go, and this is going to be hotting up as he goes wide. That's not going to be what you're wanting. Going into the final corner, it's Angus going to be looking for it. This is going to be important. These last two corners here. Oh, goodness me. It's one lap already, and we're going to be going another as a back marker is going to be overtaken through this lap. It's not going to be helping Jack Noller's situation at all.
Sometimes I like to just let you cook when you're commentating.
I tell you, it's going to be heat. It's definitely going to be heating up
quite
in
well.
there.
They're going to be lapping Adam Bent, who knows to stay out of the way, so hopefully shouldn't get too in the way. He's also 12 laps behind the next car because he came into the pits at the start and just sort of sat there. So I don't know whether he needs to go and have dinner or something or whatever, but he's gone for a bit of a jolly around wherever he is. And, come back to the car and that's getting out of the way.
Oh, God. It's definitely not the most... Yeah, destroy that thing. Right, we're going back again. Angus is going to be back on it as while that back marker had a bit of a moment. Right, we're going again. Coming out the final corner here at Brands Hatch, starting the 25th lap of the race. Right, here we go again into Paddock Hill.
26th.
It's going to be 26th, thank goodness, I can't count.
Starting the 27th. I've done 26 laps. Apologies.
I need a breather, honestly, as we're going around Druids here. Going a bit wider again. These two are going to be fighting for each other for the last two laps. It's been lovely to see. Angus really keeping it nice and close. I don't know if he's waiting for a mistake coming out from here to kind of not just slow himself up, and we saw last race he did actually slow himself down a little bit just to make it a bit more fun. These two are very mannered with each other. They know each other in real life very well, and they are going to be looking to go through Hawthorns. They're a little bit squirmy out from that Ferrari. Has he used a bit much of his tyres? We don't know, because you know these guys have been going at it. Angus has been looking to fight for him. He has been using these tyres. It's not going to be helpful as he's going to be going through. I need to get my track map again. going through Sterling's down to the straight here. It's going to be keeping it nice and close, getting that slipstream as they're going final curve, the final corner here at Clark Curve. Ugh. Alliteration, not my favorite.
I love Clark Curve.
Clark Curve.
This reminds me of that many years ago I first saw a meme of someone going into Starbucks and they said their name was Mark with a C, and out on the cup comes Clark. Which is quite funny, even though it's really basic. Not really a meme, it's just a funny thing, but whatever.
I've actually not had a Starbucks. Actually, no, I have had a Starbucks before. I've had a hot chocolate from Starbucks. It's not too bad, but I do prefer my own.
I prefer the Cafe Nero one, to be honest.
Oh,
it's quite specific.
I've never actually been there.
To be honest, that most of these places, they're not really worth it if you can do it yourself better. It's just the trouble. Somehow I have a vendetta against making hot chocolate. Whenever I do it, it's just not very good. So I now have a coffee machine to do it.
I was going to say, the secret ingredient that we have is we use coffee syrups. And that gives you the sweetness, but also gives you a little bit of additional taste. And it really actually perks up the drink quite a bit.
What if I put Monin syrup?
It'll probably work there, but unfortunately Jack Noller going a little bit squirmy out of Paddock Hill. That's not going to be helpful for him, as he's going to have to wildly defend going into Druids. Angus is going to be looking to lip his lips on this very juicy Mercedes rear end, as he's going to be looking to fight himself into Surtees, as Penelope Dobbins, who recently did a dive into the pits because of this fight last time, is going to be there again, as Angus is going to be going really close up to that rear. Is he going to make a turning into Hawthorns? No, he is not quite. But is anyone going to be running wide here? So they're going to try and get Harry as much speed as possible. Nothing here as Westfield Bend is coming up. Try and keep as much speed as possible. Sheen's Curve coming up. It's going to be nice and blind. Can it get the exit perfectly? Looks like both keep it on the black stuff. That's very good for keeping yourself in this race. And right now, going through Stearns, again, nice and clean. These two are keeping it nice and clean. Very close battle indeed. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose. I know, Angus, you want to make a show. I do know that. And hopefully you're not burning your tyres while doing it at the same time. So these two keeping each other mannered. And while all of this is happening, Joshua is actually, while he is 19 seconds behind, he is making a little bit of headway, which is good. But these two are pushing each other pretty well into the lead of the race.
It's sometimes annoying how clean they keep it all the time. Bloody real-life racing drivers.
Yeah, too damn good.
Coming in and showing us how to keep it completely clean. We crash for once.
Yeah.
Funny.
Definitely in another league as in terms of their abilities, but also they've been practicing for a very long time, so that practice and all of that reinforcement of driving has allowed them to be this consistent in racing. And it is down to the setups as well. I mean, there are some very, very talented people who could drive on things like G29s and you know, entry-level gear. I know Angus is running some very high-end equipment, but you don't need it, honestly. There are people who can perfectly keep it on the black stuff with a G29 and do really well. I know that...
I will put an asterisk to that comment, though. You don't need it, but a load cell brake does help a lot.
Yes, yes. I've had a chance to play with load cell brakes, and they are a lot more consistent, and you feel a lot more comfortable with them as well. I mean, I've not quite invested in one yet, and that's just because, you know, student money, it means no money. So,
you can find some cheap ones that just plug straight in, we'll go with whatever wheel.
Yeah, I
Because
think.
I personally have. Oh, never mind. We're gonna.
Never mind.
Keep
Never mind.
commentating as.
Cast the couch turned into cast the curse, as Angus is going to be looking to go side by side, but it looks like he backed off there going down the hole 4-0. Oh dear, we go and talk something random and then something happens.
Yeah, he wanted to hear about my setup. So I will tell you before he tries to go for another move. Stop looking. So I'm running a G27, not very good, and then some TLCM pedals, which are low range load cells, but load cells nonetheless, and they are quite nice, I would say. Good description.
A lot of drivers I know. I know Florin, for example. You may have seen him in our last ACC Championship. I've actually used his TLCMs, and they're reasonably good. I think definitely not the best. I've used some. I think they were Club Sports. I think they're load cells. They were a lot better, a lot better. But they are also. I don't know how much they cost now these days. I haven't looked at sim racing equipment in a while.
I mean, the only trouble is with Thrustmaster stuff is that they're French. So, take from that what you will. But,
on that bombshell,
I have supported a French company in the past. My apologies. I will hand in my passport now.
Oh dear. Well, lucky for you, we have some Italian versus German manufacturers here. As
I thought they were together. Oh wait.
No.
The Italians switched sides, didn't they?
I think, yeah, I think the Italians really good at building cars, as it looks like Angus is going wide there. Probably one of the first few mistakes we've seen in him in a while. Again, like I said, very, criminally consistent. Definitely something that is, as we see a car, is that Pran? That looked like Pran. That is Pran. Oh no, Pran. Oh no, Pran. Oh no.
Probably going to be annoyed that I still don't have his livery, but, if you were to have uploaded it on time.
Oh dear.
Same with,
look
who it is. Same with some other people.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some liveries. Some liveries haven't quite got through, unfortunately. Some have actually been updated and got through nicely, which is good.
Someone not using a livery at all and just deciding, complete in-game livery.
I was wondering, do you think we should have a look a little bit down the field? Because I think Aiden actually is having a little bit of fun, only about 0.3 second, 0.5 or a second, just under 0.5 or a second. Because these two are going to be keep doing this for constantly, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look at some. Let's have a look in the field, shall we? As Aiden Larson is going to be looking to fight down Josh Lodge again. These two are definitely fight each other in the championship. Definitely ones that like having a little bit of fight. Is it me or one of the last races these two had contact? I can't remember.
I don't know. I can't remember either. Maybe.
Because I remember a Lamborghini getting hit, and I was like, oh no, he's taken out a rival. And yeah, as we're going to be seeing Ekri having a little bit of issues with his
yellow flags at the same time in different places. Wow.
Oh boy.
Anyway, there's a three-way fight going on as well for 13th. Callum Porter attacking Ed Haskell, attacking James White.
Ed definitely being the ham in this Ferrari sandwich right now, as Ed is going to be looking to try and get his way into 13th, taking on James White in the process. Ed's definitely got the speed in this race, and he's going to be looking to try and get close to this 296 here. Ed's definitely not having the best race of his time here, but definitely trying to claw what he can. And just check how he's been going throughout this race. Definitely as the sole BMW driver here, I'm always going to be a little bit like, how can I say,
God's sake.
passionate. Passionate about BMWs doing well, but
Notice the order that these are in.
Oh no. Oh,
You told me to go look down the order, so I did.
I'm sorry, they've been doing the same thing for about 5-6 laps. Oh
Like
dear,
5,
it looks
6,
like...
try 50 laps, at least it's felt like it.
Oh dear, as it looks like Angus has finally been unleashed as a certain... I think that's Callum going off the side there. Oh dear.
Yeah, goodbye Angus. You're gonna waltz off. And probably not have any fake engine issues this time, so Joe isn't.
No, unfortunately not. Oh well, I think we'll definitely see it in the highlights for leaders. That fight has been going on a lot. As these two are going to be fighting it out again. Yeah, so Jack made a bit of a mistake, had a 1:25 last lap. Definitely did not help him whatsoever. And that's allowed him to make the overtake, and just as he made the overtake, got a purple third sector for Angus. Oh dear. And that's what's made the lead. I definitely think the Lamborghini, the new Lamborghini Evo, I do like the new look of it. The lights have been changed a little bit, and I think the paneling is a little bit more aggressive. I don't know about you. I don't know how you favour the new models, the new Evo spec cars in the ACC.
I don't know. I quite like them. To be honest, I'm just trying to find the back unlock on my chair. There we go. Now I can lean back and watch this race unfold. Yes.
To all the teachers that said, "Oh, you should not swing back in my chair," I'm like, man, I can swing in my chair where I want.
Oh, I can go back quite far. It's got a quite nice and Swedish engineered chair.
Oh, is this courtesy of a certain meatball?
Yeah, a certain meatball place.
Ah, lovely.
Who does not have a loyalty card brand? They have a family.
If I ever take my girlfriend there, I am stuck there for at least an hour.
Good. Good.
She loves that place.
When
I have a passion.
When I went shopping for my chair and my desk, I went there with a couple of friends because it was funny. And we honestly spent about 2.5 hours in there, despite only going for 2 things. Because obviously we had to try out every single thing. And honestly, I found out some opinions that I have on kitchen taps that I did not know I had. I didn't know I had preference on what kitchen taps look like, but I do now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jonan's going to be wanting some preferences on what taps are going to be working. I mean, this one, I think he might need to turn it a little bit more as he's going wide on his corners. That rear not looking lovely as Jonan has lost some time in the third sector there at, would have been Sheen, isn't it? Sheen curve. Oh dear. Definitely had the best of the race, but has overtaken McCullough for that 9th place there, which is going to be nice, but Jonan looking to go on the offense here as Pran going to be letting him by. Jonan, are you driving a drift car? Because you like going sideways in these corners.
He wants to be on 2 wheels. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely loved his motorcycle.
Have a look in and see what he's thinking. Don't know.
No. Nothing going on there.
But the Porsche sounds nice.
Porsche does. Porsches always, I think Porsches do always have a sort of. They always have a nice sound to them. They have one of the best sounding things. The Cadillac Hypercar. Now that thing sounds lovely. all the other cars sound very muted and very serious, the Cadillac is just like, we have a V8, we have power.
We have a V8 and we're not afraid to use it because we are American.
Definitely one of the best sounding hypercars. I'd love to, honestly, out of all the hypercars, it's one of the ones I definitely want to see the most. And maybe, honestly, maybe a Glickenhaus. Because V10s are cool. It looks like contact going to be made from Aiden Larson. They've gone, Martin, they've had contact again.
This time it was on him.
Yeah, I think that one was a bit self-inflicted. Thank goodness it didn't take out two drivers in the contact. Aiden definitely not helping. These two are definitely on match with each other throughout an entire race stint and has been really on it. I've been really impressed, but it looks like Aiden is going to be carrying a little bit of damage as well as a loss of lap time. Not going to be what he wanted, and yeah, going down a bit of gap. I don't know what to say other than, oh, they've hit. As it looks like he's going to be going in the pits. That damage was definitely a bit more than we could see, and that's not going to be helpful for his race. As Josh Lodge, Jimmy Lin going a bit wide, and Josh Lodge said, I'm going to take the chance. And it looks like, oh my goodness me.
Kan sig drifta.
I'm more impressed he kept the slide going. Well done for Jimmy Lin for keeping it somewhat in the straight. We need to find out if this person's running on a controller.
That's a wheel.
That's a wheel. Okay, that's good to know. I think it shows he definitely has some pace. You just got to put a wheel in front of him and he drives instantly faster.
Yeah.
As Josh Lodge definitely taking the opportunities here and getting that fourth position, that sort of best of the rest sort of position there, and it's good to see some different drivers fighting around. Oh, I can have a bit of a breather now. I think the cars are spaced out a little bit.
You know when you order something and they say it's gonna come on a certain day, but they don't give you a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't appreciate when that happens, but because that is currently happening. I have a new bed frame coming, and James White nearly had a wall coming. Turned out. Ooh. Self spin.
But good control on the escape. Got out there when he needed to. So, hey, may have made a mistake, but made the good decision at the end. And Aiden Larson's had a bit of a pit. 106 seconds. So that's like
Meatball.
Meatball indeed. That's like a 60-second stop at least, if not more. So that was quite serious damage there. Having to pit for quite a considerable amount of time. It's not going to be helping his race whatsoever. I mean, considering this person was 5th, I think it's like 5th place, if I remember. You know, decently high in the points positions, now dropping all the way down to 13th. He's going to have to try and fight as much as he can. Honestly, I don't mind having a bit of I always like having a bit of time to fight back with. I always liked a bit of a long strategy. I like going a bit long early in the race, and then later in the race I just like fighting back. So he will have new tires, he will have a nice clean car to play with. So let's see if we can get anything, as Jonan Turner has unfortunately got a drive-through penalty. Too many track cuts, too many times.
For track limits, car 774. Whoa,
yeah,
didn't know Eduardo Freitas was in this Discord call. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, Eduardo Freitas, known for many Le Mans and also for changing the F1 rules on track limits to the point where drivers still go, oh, thank you for not letting us drive a little bit further to the edge. As it looks like Jonan is going to be going in to be serving that drive-through penalty. It's not going to be helpful whatsoever.
Time to give my opinion. F1 track limits debate. As Owen's also coming in. Unsure why, but he is. Yeah, time to give my opinion on that debate. Being the rule is consistent now. If they can't deal with it, it's their problem.
Yeah, I think in the end, you know, cars should stay within the white lines, and I think it's important that rules are consistent from track to track. You know, some tracks you can definitely play with the limits quite a bit. Austria was definitely one of those that we saw. I think Losail later in the year is another track that you really got to be careful about track limits. And though that track loves destroying cars for some reason.
Yeah, but if you can't stay on the track, just drive slower.
Yeah, just looking at the moment, looks like Owen went back into the pits. Did not take any, went for 33 seconds, so might have taken some fuel. It might have been a strategy. I mean, it's a third pit, which is not helpful whatsoever. So it's not going to be helpful for his race. Staying down in 17th. Looks like it's not going to be any points for this race.
I've also realised why car 69 did not qualify. Because car 69 could not qualify because they had a qualifying ban to serve. And
that makes a lot of sense.
There's also why we are not currently seeing Alex Smith on track as well, because he got enough BWP in the last race, that fateful day in Watkins Glen. He got enough BWP to put him up to an event DQ for this race, and he's going to be starting from the pit lane in the next race.
Oh well, we have a system here in BUSR which means that points do carry over from one championship to the next, and even so, Glinty has carried quite a number of points.
And as we know, points mean prizes. This time the prize is not good.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, points mean prizes, point mean penalties, and Glinty has taken the ultimate prize of losing a race worth here, and oh well, he gets a slap on the wrist, he'll be back next week.
Just don't hit people. Easy.
Right. He's definitely calmed down for the last 13.5 minutes of the race. We've definitely had a lot of, I think every race we always have a lot of incidents, but in these cases it's been relatively self-inflicted, which is good to see. As we see the biggest pan in history happen.
Oh. Look
at that pan, as the cameras have a bit of a hard time showing, but it looks like Sam Knight has had a bit of an issue with staying on the track.
That incident was censored by a tree. This one isn't.
We get some leaves instead.
Aiden Chapman and
there's another car there as well. That's Callum.
Oh no, that's it's Daniela.
Oh no, that's Daniela. I'm sorry, they're all red.
See if I can. No, I didn't go back far enough. Damn. I'll try and find it again once this replay's done. Let's see. So he's driving. Oh! Comes across an already spinning Doomskull. And, well, that didn't end so good.
It's a real bonk moment there, unfortunately, as two things unfortunately happen to be happening at the same time, and that is going to be quite a considerable amount of damage, as then has had to go into the pit. There you go, there's your bonk moment there, with just under 12 minutes to go. These guys are going to be looking to fight for somewhat of some, actually it's going to be a back marker. as it looks like McCullough is going to be looking to claw back some positions, definitely not being the race that he has been wanting, but it's going to be all over the back end of that McLaren Evo. He's going to be looking to put some fight into Sheen Curve. Now these corners do make the car a little bit light, and Porsches don't like having a light rear end, as the engine is placed on the rear of the car, which does help with rotation, but maybe not when you want it all the time. And,
yeah. I mean, if you've got a light rear end, Porsche's basically got nothing on the front end, so the entire car goes light, and then good luck.
They're really good for drift cars.
Yeah.
Because the car just goes already. It's great.
Oh no, who's crashed now?
Oh no. Fran.
Maybe not. Just
went a
see
bit.
him.
He had a blue flag moment and went, I'm just going to dive.
Well, he's already last, so he's not losing anything.
And he's off. He's off at Sterling's again. I know, Fran. We love you here at the stream. Don't you worry. As Jonan's going to be looking to go side by side with one of his actual teammates in, with the Rev Sports themselves. As Jonan here trying to try and make some positions. Definitely trying to want that 9th place back, as he lost it earlier in the race. One thing to note, Jonan does have 3 laps advantage in tyres, so 3 lap younger tyres, is it going to make a difference coming later into this race? The temperatures have not changed, and therefore, you know, these drivers have been able to adapt to those track temperature changes. So in the end, it's going to be down to whether or not those tyres that Cam has got on that Lamborghini are going to last, defending against Jonan in that very elaborate looking Porsche.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cam should be okay for tyres. I mean, these tyres are designed to last a stint, which can go up to about 1 hour and 5 minutes, depending on your preferences. So the tyres should be okay, providing, I know these guys didn't stop too early. So basically the same goes for everyone else, providing they didn't stop basically immediately.
One of the things that happened in 1.8 in particular was the Lamborghini was very good at chewing front tyres. That was actually one of its characteristics that kind of held it back in 1.8. I don't know if some of it's really carried on in 1.9. It's just the way that the car handles and the way that it handles the tyres. I don't know if it'll be a factor. It probably won't be, but it's just something that we noticed with the Lamborghini, which is why it wasn't really ran in comparison to other cars.
I have a fix, and I'm a genius. Simply, on your setup, run more front mechanical grip. Then when it goes away, you'll notice it less. I'm sure that won't do anything bad at all.
Well, it looks like it's going to be slowed down there from going into paddock corner. These two are going to be getting their elbows out as it looks like Connor gets through into Druid. It's going to be trying to defend it now, defend his position, trying to sustain his 8th position here. But it looks like Aiden is going to be on the offense, going a little bit wide into. Oh God, I've got my names out of my head. It's been a long race, everyone. As we know that we're going down Pilgrim's Drop into Hawthorne Hill, as Jack Noller is going to be looking at this fight from behind. These two have been fighting for these positions here, Connor and Aiden. I mean, I don't know if Aiden's got anything left in the tank that he's going to be keeping close by. Just for reference, Connor has been going a very long time on these tyres. This is the 35th lap of these tyres, compared to a 27 laps in the McLaren. So the McLaren's definitely got an advantage in tyres, quite a considerable amount, but it depends whether or not the blue flag is going to slow them down at all. Let's have a look down for the fight for 9th place. Jonah is going to be looking to try and take it to Cameron here. Is he going to have enough speed going into the first corner into Paddock Hill? Doesn't look like it at all, but is he going to have the exit speed needed to get out and dive it into Druids? Druids is one of the best places in the track to make an overtake. He's going to be keeping it wide. Cam is going to be taking the inside. He's going to compromise his corner a little bit as Jonan goes a little bit wide, not what he wants, as he's going to be keeping the position there. Looks like me whacking it around. Oh, it looks like going side by side. Cam has not had a great exit here, but it is... Oh God, I need to remember the damn names. These names are too hard to remember, honestly. It's Surtees here. Bit of a what? Always one of the hardest corners. I hate that corner so much. Really don't like it. As Jonan's going to be keeping it nice and tight going into Hawthorne's Bend. Keep as much speed as possible. You're going to be needing everything you've got going into these next few corners, keeping them nice and close, trying to follow Cam through these sections of corners up into the Sheen curve. Nice and blind. Knight makes the rear nice and wiggly. As you can see, the Porsche is struggling going through Sheen. It makes the rear nice and light, something that the Porsche really doesn't want, as it's going to have, because it has a lot of weight in the rear. Right. So, fight's going to be continuing, going on onto the start-finish straight. These two have been going at it lap after lap after lap, but has Jonan got enough left in the tank and with those tyres to actually make the pass, make the overtake and get that 9th position? Because every point here is going to be important for this mid-stage, and especially as he's not had the best races in the past, it's going to be really important to get some points on the board.
Well, we'll see whether he's going to be able to get past, but it's to a basically exactly matched for pace, so it is going to be a very difficult task for him, but doesn't appear to be too much else going on track, so probably just stick to this for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, this track has definitely been one of the harder tracks to overtake here. It's not been easy at all for these drivers to overtake, and it really shows you the track can mean a massive difference when it comes to, you know, keeping a driver behind. It's more about trying to force the mistake from the car in front, and, you know, this is what these drivers have to do. You know, whether it's trying to make them force out a really bad exit, or trying to make them go wide, or maybe they have a little bit of a wiggle. It's these little tiny things on a very short lap is what they need to actually make the overtake, and it's really shown here. Cam has really kept Jonan behind, as it does have a little bit of a moment going into that first corner, but keeping Jonan behind here. Whew. Got a few last things, you know, gonna have some action coming into this final point of the race. I always say the final point of a race is always the fun one, because you're gonna see different strategies converging. You know, the people who stopped early are gonna be at the slowest, and the people who stopped later are gonna be making the difference in these closing moments of the race. You know, we're gonna be seeing the battle for 9th, and we're gonna see the battle for 7th. You know, these two are gonna be fighting at each other. Going to these last parts, as we know Angus has ran away with it as usual. No surprise there.
We need to give him success ballast.
Yeah, a bit of success ballast.
What do we reckon, plus 50 kilos?
Yes, I think we need at least 50 kilos and maybe a restrictor plate.
Now we're just putting a GT4 again.
Ah, yeah. Back to GT4 for you. Hopefully isn't something you say in real life, but as we're going to have 2 minutes left on the clock, going to have like 2 more laps, I think.
Let's see where Angus is.
So that's 30.
He's got about 50 seconds left on this lap, so should be this lap and then white flag next time by.
Yes.
For all you oval fans. Or, I don't know, I think having a flag specifically for the white lap is more fun The last lap, sorry.
It does give definitely a bit of drama, and I think the Americans are great when it comes to the show of racing. You know,
Kings of drama.
like, I don't know if we're boring or they love a bit as they're going, oh, I think as we're having a bit of a talk here. As it looks like Jonan is going to be trying to make the overtake. Bit of bumping there.
He was there.
It was there, though.
Right,
He was there.
on the final lap. Give it a final push.
As the final lap has been called out now. Honestly, good on Jonan. I think he made the overtake. He forced the gap. He went for the lunge. And Cam could not respond very easily. There was a bit of contact, but he made the overtake. And honestly, that must be rewarding for Jonan right now. You know, he must be feeling very happy as he's had this car behind for so many laps. It's good to see. And he's going to be making that 9th place there and hopefully securing it for the end of the races. One more lap to go. Angus doing his victory lap. What a surprise.
Let's see whether it looks any more like a parade than a lap, but it doesn't. As I'm going to be able to round out here just a few minutes time. Might as well start announcing the podium now because it's the same 3 people, just in a slightly different order each time. This time, got Angus Fender up at the front, which is its normal position. Jack Noller in 2nd place and Joe Scher in 3rd, but crucially for him, still 1st of the students, as Angus Fender is going to come across the line in style with a 360. Thank you to my spotter for telling me the leaders finished the race. I'll make sure to turn that off at some point. But fresh install of ACC things.
Yeah, it looks like Jack Noller is going to be coming round the final bend, as well as Aiden Hapburn, who's been fighting with McCullough, didn't quite make it in the end, as McCullough recovers to 7th place. Definitely not something he's going to be happy with compared to different things. Oh my god, that was just before the race as well! Excuse me there?
Well, Jonan's finished.
Wait, so what happened here? So
why was Cam in front? That's quite funny,
so many
actually.
questions at the final end of the race. What the hell happened there?
I feel like that was some scheduled programming, or
Oh dear.
personally. But
We have one last car coming across the line. I think Aiden Larson is going to be looking to get to be he's going to be the final person in line. Definitely not the race he's been wanting, but getting that 12th place there as the cars have crossed the line. Oh boy.
And I realise my light isn't on. So it's going to be a bit dark
again.
It's going to be a bit dark, but it's fine. Yeah. Shall move along. Get on with some interviews once we got our drivers available, but that was actually a very good race to watch. I think we've had action basically all throughout, especially towards the start when we had that basically 6-way fight for 5th.
Yeah, I think this track, because of how short it is, we have a lot of drivers compressed throughout the field, and I think, you know, those fights are going to be keeping the cars nice and close, and you know, drivers relatively keeping good respect. There's some good racing out there. You know, good respect from each driver. Like overall, I was pretty happy. I mean, I think considering the track is very hard to overtake, as we saw, we had some relatively good racing.
Yep, exactly that. Still wait a little bit. Drivers all go into a little brief to talk about the race and get berated by the by our lead race organizer Alexa. But I don't think the berating needs to happen here. Not really much
That's
There
relatively
wasn't
okay,
much
honestly.
that
Yeah.
went wrong between multiple people. Maybe a few bits,
I mean,
but nothing too major.
that bit at the end, I was a bit like, you guys haven't finished yet. I know. I think Alexa might look into that because that was a bit
Ah,
strange, especially as
I
Cam
mean,
God was in front. But I know.
if they don't report it, then it don't get seen. So that's fine. It's
Oh, you didn't hear.
Cam.
You didn't hear the bet. You didn't hear the bet as well. If there
Oh
wasn't any
no.
reports,
Oh, yeah.
you might know about that one. Probably keep it to ourselves. But yeah, it looks like
He's gonna down a whole bottle of amaretto. I'm not gonna get my bottle of amaretto out. Don't worry. I've got one in my room, but I'm not getting it out. Let's go on with interview. Let's go for a bit of lowest position to highest position of people that we chose. So first person we're going to get into the broadcast room today, Callum Porter. How's it going? How was that for you?
Not the best race of my life at all. A lot of mistakes, nowhere near consistent enough. Race was all right. Got everything right. I just didn't get everything right very often.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the best race for
No.
results wise and maybe consistency wise, but is this still something that you're getting used to with ACC? Because I hear you're still fairly new, obviously rapid, but
I've been playing it for a few years, but I'm very on and off with how often I get to play it. I think before today I did 15 laps practice the other day, and then literally did like 3 laps in the practice, getting straight in from work, and then jumped into quali. So I think that didn't help the consistency, and I do not have the best setup at all. Sim races excuse, but I'm on a laptop with £100 monitor that I've had for like 3 years. So occasionally, amongst the added inconsistencies of the driving, suddenly the frames drop and everything wants to go all over the place, and that doesn't help things. That was probably only responsible for 1 or 2 of the mistakes when there was about 9, 10 or 11 big ones. So.
That's fair enough. I mean, honestly, I drove whole spring with a 7-year-old monitor running at 60 hertz, and it was usable. But
that about sums up my setup. It's usable.
No worries. I mean, how did it feel? You know, we've gone into 1.9 the last couple of months. How did it feel with 296 at Brands Hatch for you?
Well, pretty good most of the time, to be fair. I'd say since the updates come out, I've only really driven the 296 mostly, and I've got on with it quite well most of the time, to be fair. There's just a few moments where I've not done many races with a lot of fuel on board, which didn't change it that much, or even a lot of tyre wear. So, yeah, I had to be mindful of that. That gave me a few slides and big kicks at some points, but.
All right.
cool.
Well, no worries. Yeah, I'll let Jason do the rest.
Well, hopefully we get to talk to you again at a slightly more successful race for you. I guess more races you do, the less rusty you'll be, and you get back into it. Seen by the qualifying pace that you're definitely up there, so we look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I was quite surprised and quite happy with the quali pace. I just actually got a lap right and didn't make a mistake for once.
Well, there you go. That's how to do it, everyone. Don't make a mistake. We'll see you next week.
Probably not next week. I'm away working in Le Mans next week. Hopefully I'll be back the week after.
Casually.
Yeah.
Yep, casual Le Mans. Don't worry about it. Oxford Brook students, come on, man. Anyway, we'll see you when your next race then, whenever that may be.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Off working.
Some people have it lovely, don't they?
Come on. The opportunities some people get in this one. Nah, you get in there, you work for it. Let's continue on. Continuing up the order, Sorry, Marley, I think I've stolen you mid-conversation, but hello.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, so that was a race. How'd it go for you?
Definitely happened. First off, I'd like to shout out my sponsors. They know who they are. Secondly, yeah, it was a good race. I'd say first 20, 25 minutes was pretty much where it all happened. Side by side with, I forget the driver's name, but he finished P8, I believe. Side by side with him for a significant portion of the first 5 minutes. And then it just everyone kind of accordioned away. Really, the most drama that happened during that race was my headset ran out of charge.
Oh,
So,
no.
during my pit stop, I threw off my VR, picked up my cable, plugged it in, put on the headset again, and didn't have enough time to put it in my headset. So I had another 4 or 5 laps of driving with one hand. But yeah, other than that, not too much drama to report. It was a fairly quiet race.
I mean, we definitely saw quite a bit of the first 20-25 minutes of it, because you were in that big train. There was a big train at some point with about 5th through 11th, so that was quite fun to see. Probably quite fun to be in as well, especially in VR.
Yeah, it got split up, I think, close to the end once the faster cars came through the pack. But other than that, I think if they hadn't come through and overtaken everyone, I think we'd still be a lot closer together, nose to tail.
I mean, relatively, you had a relatively quite consistent pace across the board. I mean, very clean overall. So there's not really much I can really say on it, honestly. I think
No.
you had a relatively clean race. How was it when that back marker lock? Well, when you guys had the faster cars coming through, did it really create much of a change? How did it change your driving in that moment?
It was just mostly. I'd say the difference being was that because they're on such a disparity of pace, it's that they can overtake you anywhere rather than just overtaking you in, toward the end of the GP loop or turn 2, for example. They would put their nose in and they'd barge you out the way. And they know that they can do that because they're, running a second or 2 faster than you. So I didn't particularly enjoy it, but once they were, once they weren't in the picture, it was a lot more enjoyable to kind of keep battling with the slower cars, slower than them, not slower than me. Yeah, overall, it's just very weird with traffic on this track, just in general. So yeah, not really much to add.
Cool. I mean, picked you up for an interview because the first bit seemed interesting.
Yeah.
The second bit was maybe not so much, but that's fine. You had a good race. It's nice to have an interview with someone who had a good race.
My first race back as well. I've not done the first 2 rounds.
Exactly.
Oh. Yeah.
Gonna see you in the next few. Well.
Yeah, next 2 races. I'm not here for the final race because I think there's something happening in Germany that's really fun and I really want to go to. So, fortunately, I would love to bring my whole rig.
You're going to Wuppertal?
I am actually going to Wuppertal.
Yeah!
We are waking up 6 a.m. to go to Wuppertal. We're so excited.
He's gonna see the monorail, or is it the suspension railway?
Suspension monorail. Like, honestly, that's going to be the best part of the trip.
I can't believe it. Anyway,
thanks for having me.
Enjoy that. We'll see you later.
In a bit. Bye-bye.
One man going to Le Mans, another man going to the Wuppertal suspension monorail. Well, let's figure out where Jimmy's going in the next few weeks. Mr. Jimmy Lin. Walk. Are you back in the correct time zone now? Or
yes,
are you still...
yes.
Yes, thought so. By the fact that you're not on controller, and you haven't lost any pace, have you?
No, I mean, well, it took I practiced quite a lot coming up to this race for just to try and at least, get to the pace I was before I left. So it's good to know I can still compete nearer to the front. And yeah.
Yeah, are you back for good, or are you going to still be?
Yeah, no, I'm
Canadian?
back for good. I'm back for good.
How was it? How was it? One highlight.
Canada. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, the people there were really nice. Can't lie. Like, they weren't. You never really feel unsafe by anyone. That was great wherever you went. So, but
Yeah.
the confusing thing was, everyone spoke with a Canadian accent, so didn't understand what they were saying.
That's the unfortunate bit, but glowing reviews for the country of Canada. Fairly good review for the track of Brands Hatch, I would imagine. It was a decent first race back, it's fair to say.
Yeah, I mean, just kept it safe mostly. Towards the end, I kind of like ran out of energy. Like, just got really tired and just autopiloted the last like half an hour, and it ended up me like spinning it in turn 1, which was not
Happens.
great. But I'm happy that with where I finished anyways. I feel like Josh probably would have caught me towards the end, and yeah, happy with the result.
I mean, how going to 1.9? I mean, the McLaren's always been a really strong car at Brands Hatch. How was it? How's it to drive in the new Evo? Because I don't know if you've driven the old 1.8,
Yeah.
and yeah, how did it feel going into 1.9, driving around the track with the McLaren?
The one thing I really liked, and it still carried over, is that it's so stable during high speed corners. So you never really have to worry about like the car just dying all of a sudden and just race over. So that's what I really liked. But the problem was with the new Evo or 1.9, it's one or the other. I struggle with a lot with traction out of low speed corners, and that made it like really painful sometimes.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, like, I mean, the track, like, when you're moving to a new car, there's so many different things that are going on and changing. So it's understandable. Like, you know, if the car's really good high speed, it's really good high speed. I mean, sometimes you have that trade off, but either way, it's good to see that the McLaren can, fight with a lot of the cars at the front, especially at Brands Hatch, where it is supposed to be really good. So
Yeah,
it's good to see, you continue on it. It's good to see that you've finally broken the controller curse finally, and on a bit more, how can I say, optimized setup.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
It's
have one final question.
Mhm.
So, Callum is going to Le Mans in the next few weeks. Marley's going to Germany. You going anywhere nice?
No. Staying home.
No?
I mean, I went to Canada for the past like 10 months.
I mean, fair
Is that
enough. Home
not
is
nice?
probably quite nice at the moment.
Yeah. No, I'm not planning to go anywhere. I'm tired as well. Overall, tired of traveling. The plane back was so painful. I could not get any sleep. So
Yeah,
yeah.
fair enough. Anyway, welcome back to Blighty, Britain.
Thank you.
Your next race.
Goodbye.
Yeah. So that just about ends it. Let's not have a long, drawn-out intro. I think that was quite a good race.
Yeah. Let's hope. Let's hope the track is a little bit more favorable for those side-on-sides. I mean, it's been a very, very hard race for a lot of people to overtake, and Joe especially struggled. I think that was probably one of the biggest things for him. It really slowed him down, was just getting through the field. And I don't know what race we're having next week. I can't remember which one it is. But hopefully we'll see a bit more side-on-side, and I hope Joe can close the gap. I think that's what I'm hoping the most.
Yeah, we will find out. That's for sure. So that's the first race of round 3 done. Next up on Thursday, same time, same place, is going to be Virginia International Raceway South in iRacing in the MX5s. So that is going to be quite an interesting race to watch. And then F1 continuing as well. Jimmy has just got back from Canada. F1 is going to Canada. They're going to be at Montreal for the first sprint round of the season. He is on Saturday. Be sure to check those two out if anyone's still here. Please like, please subscribe, and we will see you next time.